All right, wanted to do another recap with some of the things I've learned about this format. One of the things we know is that we open garbage rares. We do know that. That'll be every pack here, but we're used to that already. We get a fine first pick. It's a 2-drop. It's in white. That's what you want to be doing. White is by far the most powerful color in this format, followed by, I think, blue. And then you want to be either white blue or white green tempo. The format is quite fast. Removal is bad, and the threats are hit for a lot of damage. It's easy to just be a runaway freight train in this format, and Rafine's a good way to do it. It's a 2-mana 3/2, right? It draws you a card. It allows you to loot. Very, very strong. Up next, again, we're going to be looking at, this is going to be a choice between things that connect to white, either white-blue or white-green. There's a Quasar, which I think is, in a vacuum, maybe the most powerful card in the pack, but that's very specific, right? That's Obscura. We want to keep ourselves open to Selesnya or Zorius or Brokers here. And so just picking either Skycrawler or Civil Servant, I think, is the pick. Civil Servant being one of the premier 2-drops in the format. Being able to go Civil Servant into a backup agent is usually game-winning in this format. And white-green is a very strong archetype, especially in best of one, where you're likely to curve out, and as long as you're on the play, you stand a good chance of being able to overwhelm your opponent. So we're going to take Civil Servant here and get presented with a pack of hot garbage. There's really nothing here. The best card in the pack is probably Make Disappear or Body Dropper. Again, still trying to force Bant. So we're going to give it a shot, I suppose, and we'll see what we can do. Very disappointing pick 3. And now we see a Gathering Throng and a Majestic Metamorphosis. We see a whack, so it looks like black-red is open, which is a fine deck if you get a good version of it. It's still not nearly comparable to the white decks in the format, white-green, white-blue, and Brokers. So I think the pick, as long as we're getting a Gathering Throng here, I think we're going to be happy with that. So let's take that there, see what happens. Definitely seeing signs that we might be getting cut out of Brokers, which is normal. The community's on to the fact that this is the best deck in the format, so it's pretty hard to get in there. And look at the red. Yep. As we can see here, Pugilist and Strangle, 2 premier red cards. We'll take a backup agent to go with Civil Servant. There's a real decision point here. We definitely could have gone red-black in that pack, but we're staying course, and now we see a Jewel Thief, so we're rewarded here. Pick 6 Jewel Thief is pretty crazy. That is still a very strong card. Green is not the best color like white is, but just seeing a Jewel Thief, I mean, we're convinced now we're going to try to make this Selesnya thing work. Even if we don't have like the premier example of the deck, it's still strong enough where it's probably the way to go. All right. Another Throng here is fine. Usually want to get into the Throng game a little bit later, but it is what it is. All right, really nothing here. There's a Mayhem Patrol. I should have probably taken Mayhem Patrol there because we're just, I mean, it's so obvious red is open. And Mayhem Patrol is, you know, the best red 2-drop. So, I mean, even if we needed to jump ship this late in the draft, we definitely could and still end up with a pretty good red-black deck. The fact that I saw a pick 6 Jewel Thief maybe is clouding my judgment here. Yeah, obviously you want to do everything you can to stay away from red-green, But I mean, if there's no options, you got to do what you got to do, right? See a clown. Just chilling. 6 packs. So we're just going to hang out and experience some cell death here and slowly die. So we'll just die here, inside and outside, while they make everyone wait to draft. So that's, you know, that's good for them. They want us to die slowly. Here we see a revelation of power, not much else. We see a Riveteer's Overlook. So if we were doing the red-black thing, we could have got a land, but white-green more than any deck in the format, and every deck in the format wants good tricks, but white-green more than any other wants tricks. Here we see a Civic Gardener and a Sawjack. I've not been impressed with Sawjack at all. It's 3 mana. Usually your 3-drop slot is pretty crowded, especially, you know, in white-green where you have Throngs and Jewel Thieves and Inspiring Overseers if you're lucky enough to get those. So I'm going to take the 2-drop here. Civic Gardener is not great. We're not going to be super pumped if we have to play it, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Here we see a Fatal Grudge. I actually don't mind. I found some uses for that card. It's not the worst. It cycles itself. Makes your opponent sack something, so can be useful. I don't want to leave the draft table. I almost did just because that one dude's taking so long. I'd rather just die. But here we are. We're sticking it out. Here we're seeing a couple of late green cards again. Gonna take the 2-drop over a Sawjack. My goal with a white-green deck is to be so aggressive that I don't care about the flyers. Anytime you're leaving something back to block in this format, you're in trouble, right? You need to have mana up if you're blocking in this format. Never, ever block with no mana when your opponent has mana, because there's always a trick at this stage of the format. Here, again, we see that we're unable to open rares in the colors that we're in. Pretty common. Don't think it's ever happened. Well, it's definitely happened, but just not very often, I guess. Anyways, this is a terrible pack. Broker's Charm, one of the weakest of the charms. I could take Buy or Silence, but I mean, this is just a complete garbage pack. So I'm going to take Broker's Charm. I have a Make Disappear. Maybe I get some lands. Maybe I get some Signpost Uncommons in Brokers. Ha! Like that'll happen. You already know that ain't going to happen. So we're just going to take this and move on. We know we're not allowed to get those good pack ones. Right here, again, garbage pack for us specifically, even after cutting white-green. So looks like nobody at the table is in black-red, maybe? Maybe there's one black-red drafter somewhere. We see a Nightclubber, again, Premier Black Uncommon. Again, garbage packs for us, great packs for black. Fake Your Own Death being one of the top black commons. There's a Rocco and an Orfeo here, but we don't have any, you know, for Rocco. We're not going to splash red for it, that's for damn sure. And now you get a random getaway card. This card is very, very powerful. I don't know why this is being passed. We don't get to open good rares, but hey, we do get them passed to us sometimes, and I have no idea why someone gave us getaway card. It's best in a deck with a lot of like Corrupt Court Officials and Inspiring Overseers and stuff like that. Lots of ETB stuff. All we have right now is a backup agent, but hey, we'll make it work. Even using it on, you know, Rafine's Informant allows you to connive over and over again. It allows you to loot, right? Here, there's another For the Family. There's a Botanical Plaza. I think I'm just going to take a land here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing blue. You never know what's going to happen in Pack 3. Although, if you're us, you do kind of know what's going to happen. You know we're going to get garbage in Pack 3. So I'm still keeping my options open here. And now we get more land. Broker's Hideout, Skybridge Towers. Right now, we just need another 2-drop. Skycrier is a great flyer. It's lifelink. It's a citizen that works with our civil servant. And it's great with all these tricks that we have. I mean, we have 2 right now, but Broker's Charm is kind of a trick, too. Could pump power. So Skycrier's looking okay. Garbage pack, great stuff for Riveteers and for Maestros, and then a red-black land as well. Pyre Sledge Arsonist, if you can build around it, is good. Exhibition Magician is a super solid common as well, so just great stuff for red. It looks like nobody's red. Maybe there's one red drafter. Maybe there's one. Or somebody splashing red that's like primarily blue-black, but splashing red for like a Maestro's deck. More garbage. Again, good red cards. Plasma Jockey. Being the only good card in the pack. So we have Gilded Pinions, which could be okay, given our deck composition is good with a Jewel Thief. Really good with Gathering Throngs. So white-green is, like, basically, I think the only color combo that really wants a Gilded Pinions, because you can put a Rock's Pummeler on it, Broker's Initiate, Gathering Throngs, so it can be good in, or, I mean, it's obviously very good with Civil Servant as well, so it can be good in that deck. Red-black, it's medium, but usually you're blitzing your stuff in, so your big damage dealers. Maybe, you know, it could be useful for like a body dropper or something, but usually you just rather have another blitzer than a Gilded Pinions. Green-red is not a deck, so I'm not really considering that. Here we're just taking a look at the cards we want to play, or that we wouldn't mind playing. Not a lot for the end of 2 packs. We have, really it's 10, right? We have 2 lands, a Broker's Charm, and a Warm Welcome that we really don't want to play. You still want to be a very focused 2-color deck. So we have 10 cards. We need 23. This is not looking good. At this point, we kind of know we're going to be a janky deck. We also know we're going to open up a garbage rare. We do get some good options, though. We get Mage's Attendant and Luxurious Libation. Both are good options here. I do have a couple of tricks already, so I'm going to lean towards this Mage's Attendant. I'm not sure if that's correct. Luxurious Libation is a house, and it can just win a game out of nowhere. So the card is pretty fantastic. Mage's Attendant, I mean, it can be... It's good, but it's not, you know, it's no Inspiring Overseer, right? It's no Jewel Thief. It's no, even Gathering Throng. If we get a couple more of those, Mage's Attendant's going to be outshined a little bit. But Luxurious Libation can just win you a game, and it's really good with Skycrier, very good with Jewel Thief, very good with Civil Servant. So I'm not sure if that's the right pick. I think in a vacuum, pack one, pick one, you'd want Mage's Attendant. Here we see 3 good cards that we want all of these. This is better than any. This pack is better than any pack we've seen thus far in the draft, and we know that we'll never see any of these cards again. But we got to take the best one. That's going to be Inspiring Overseer, and then immediately we dry up again. We do get a Gathering Throng. I think that's probably the 3rd best white common, provided you can get more than 2 of them. And this is our 3rd one. So at this point, this Gathering Throng becomes very, very strong. Usually you don't want more than 4 or 5, because then you end up with multiples in your opening hand, but, you know, I'll play as many as 6 or 7, I think. I don't even know. A 3-1 is just very good in this format, and they just never stop. Never stop, never stopping. So here, we don't have anything in our deck that costs more than 3 mana. We have a Rumor Gatherer and a Rock's Pummeler, and this is a tough decision. There's great black cards and stuff, but I think we're going to go with the Rumor Gatherer here. We have the 3 Gathering Throngs. We have, you know, a lot of cheap creatures, so hopefully we can trigger. Mage's Attendant triggers it, so And now we see another for the family. Good chance to pick up a trick here. We see a Rocks Pummeler. And then another Gathering Throng. So we're looking pretty good here. This was a good pack for us. Don't want to... We still need playables, though. Keldaya Strong Arm. Again, this is going to be good on Skycrier, good on Civil Servant, Jewel Thief, Inspiring Overseer. All really strong with the Keldaya Strong Arm. We're going to have to put the filler in. Attended Socialite doesn't actually look horrible with 4 Gathering Throngs. We should be able to keep the creatures coming. Yeah. Don't anticipate getting anything else here, so... We do see another Revelation of Power. There's a Broken Wings here, which, considering we have actual 0 interaction right now, deserves some consideration. But in a white-green deck, I mean, your tricks are your interaction, because you're just swinging like an idiot every turn, over and over with everything you got. Revelation of Power is going to be very good with Rocks Pummeler, of course, and then... our backup agent, anything that has a counter. Other than that, it's pretty bad. I mean, it's you know, it's going to be okay on a lifelinker, because any trick is, but not great in our deck, but I don't think we have too much of a choice here. We're just scrambling for playables at this point. And the Pinions doesn't look bad. With the tricks that we have, hopefully we can just win a couple games out of nowhere. Alright. Fuck it. We're just doing it live. Take one more look at this. Deck doesn't look... I mean, it's pretty bog standard. It's pretty medium, pretty mediocre. We didn't get the good cards, but that's normal, right? You can't expect every deck just to be super crazy good. You have to be able to win and scrap out a couple of wins with a medium deck here and there. Not every deck you get is going to go 7. But we'll see what we can do. Here we get an okay hand. We're on the draw. Not what we want to see with a white-green deck, but we do have Civil Servant. We have some tricks. We have a getaway car. Not what we want to see from our opponent. Ideally, they discard a land here, so we can block with Civil Servant. Or at least suss out if they have a trick. And they do, so that's really good news for us. And now we see a Jewel Thief. That is awesome. Super pumped to see that. And of course they go right into that Signpost Uncommon. Not happy about it. But we do get for the family here. They're tapped out, so we'll see if they block. Ideally, they block here. The reason why we play Jewel Thief out first is because if they do block after we swing, we have 2 mana up, and we can't cast the Thief. Celebrity Fencer could be a problem because we have actual 0 interaction, but they did tap out for it, and they did that pre-combat. So now we know we're going to get a free kill with the Jewel Thief here. So we're excited for that, and we think we can race. We have some tricks here, so hopefully we can be able to race. Cleanup Crew is not what we want to see. That's going to kill the getaway car. So if they get to 6 mana, we're probably screwed. Yeah, it's going to be really bad. Here, we're gonna leave up. We want to leave up a trick. Also, getaway car has haste, so there's really no need for us to drop it right now. And they play a jewel thief. Really bad for us, of course. Hoping they swing with that fencer, but odds of them swinging into open mana are pretty low. And we know what we're gonna do. We know we're gonna swing. At this point, we're pretty our opponent's at 13. So they're going to have to start doing stuff. And we're pretty desperate to trade. If they take this, they'll be down to 6. And then hopefully we can try to close the game out with the Gilded Pinions on something. They do have 5 mana. 1 land will get them to kill the getaway car. But at this point, I don't even care. Because right now we're trying to get them dead. And then the Gilded Pinions is probably going to be better for us. Possibility I should have cast For the Family there. It pushes 2 more damage. We get to keep Jewel Thief. I think my game plan is to try to kill them in the air, but probably would have been smarter to do that. And now the race is on. So we're trying to look over the next couple of turns. And I think I can win this race. If I Pinions, equip it on Getaway card, they're down to 5. And then we could kill them next turn. If we draw land, we can play Pummeler, as long as that has the shield counter. We have Trample. I think our opponent is realizing what's up right now as well. They did spend their treasure on Revelers, which is huge for us, because that means that they don't get to play Cleanup Crew next turn. And we got to start jumping, though. And we knew they were going to have the flyer. We knew it. We did know that. We drew our 6th land. So that's really good for us. And they didn't play a 5th land, so we know that Cleanup Crew isn't coming down. Revelation of Power gives flying and lifelink to something with a counter on it, which is Rock's Pummeler. Just doing math here. Can't swing with the Getaway car because they kill us on the Crackback. And the goal is to try to fly in the Pummeler. We have 2 tricks. It has Trample. They should swing here. And they have another signpost in common, so they should definitely swing, force me to chump. And then we only have the 6/3 out. I think they're really worried about tricks right now, which they should be. But I mean, they know I have Pinions, so there's no sense in trying to stop that. Right. I mean, I'm just going to go Pinions, fly the Pummeler, which I didn't even need to do because the trick is going to give it flying anyway. But this is just game. They tapped out. So any trick does it. All right, on to the next one. We escaped there. There were some minor optimizations we definitely could have made, I think, in our play. Definitely didn't need to equip pinions there. Could have saved ourselves a couple of mana. Or just equip pinions on the other creature. And swung with both, but they were dead. They were tapped out, and we had the tricks. All right. Not getting our 2 drops is a huge bummer. Definitely need those. So, and also started with 2 Gathering Throngs in hand. Not ideal. Oh, we can double spell this turn. So that's good. Worried about the counter spell. But exotic pets is rough for us. That is going to be a problem. Their vet is very good against Gathering Throng. We do have Attended Socialite, so we can start getting in there for 6 a turn. Because we're going to have creatures for days here. If we draw a land, we can have Throng and Revelation of Power up, which is really nice. Opponent's playing a Brew. Just casting the Throng pre-combat to make sure I get my Socialite buffed. There's a potential I'm supposed to swing with the other Throng here because my opponent trades every time. But right now, those fish are being held back, and I think that's fine for me. Them doing this means that they have a trick. We have a trick, so we're going to be all right. So probably be a For the Family, or yep, Revelation of Power. We're just going to do that. Keep our Jewel Thief around. Deal some trample. The Jewel Thief is a problem for them and for their deck. Just trample vigilance is an issue. We are out of tricks now, though. Speakeasy server's fine. We get a pummeler out. That's a huge problem for them. They need removal, and now we're just getting in there. So they're going to take 6 here. They're going to go to 8. And then we're representing lethal. So they need to have an answer. And they have a Planeswalker. They have Vivian. Well, I guess I could have seen that coming. Would have been nice to have that last turn with the mana up. Could have countered that Viv. But it is what it is. We're swinging with the team. And we do have lethal on the stack here. So opponent is dead. 6 mana Mythic Bomb Planeswalker didn't do a whole lot. Made a Rhino, and then we were able to just win with Gathering Throngs. That's the Throng song for you. It's yeah. I was calculating how they were dead. They were dead from they had to block Pummeler, and then they still take 2 from Trample. So we didn't need to cast that last Throng there. We just needed to cast one of them. And they were still dead, because we would trample over for the win anyway. But they were extra dead. terrible hand. Horrible hand. Can't cast anything. Automatic mull. Into a horrible hand. We can cast a spell, so that's good. So we're gonna keep it. But just terrible. Just terrible. Guess what? Another Broker's deck. Guess what? Another Broker's deck. Okay. Not what you want to see on turn 2. But we draw the plains, so we get a 2-drop here. I don't know if it would have been better for us to just play... to wait a turn, and then play Jewel Thief, then play Backup Agent on it to have a 4/4 Trampler. But right now, I think this is fine. They get their own Jewel Thief, not what you want to see. So we're gonna have to look. We're gonna have to try to force some trades here. We draw our best card, Inspiring Overseer. That's always good. Now we have For the Family up, so hopefully we can trade a creature and a trick for a creature and their trick, and then try to win with card advantage with Overseer. Opponent's thinking hard. Our decision is between... See, and then they play just a freak bomb that we can't beat. Yeah, there's nothing we can do here, so we're pretty much already dead. We can't race it. Yeah. Pretty much dead here. Thinking about trading and then blocking with Backup Agent using For the Family. But with Keldaya Strongarm, I'm thinking that might be my only chance to win. Because now we can just blitz it in there. I should have actually blocked a little different. I should have blocked and killed the Jewel Thief, and then I could have got in for an extra 2 damage this turn. So I'm going to have to blitz that in, swing for 5, and then hope my opponent doesn't have anything, and we know they're gonna. Here I might as well swing for 2. It doesn't matter. I get the card now versus getting it at the end of the turn. Spar's Adjudicators pretty much does it. Yeah. That means we're dead. There's really nothing we could do. There's nothing our deck could do. If we can't kill Duelist, then we're, yeah. Yep, and now we can't block it. It's conniving. I mean, we can't race it, so... I mean, there's a potential we could draw enough Revelations of Power. If we draw those back to back, maybe we could try to race this thing, but it's pretty much over here. They're way up on cards. They're dealing us, 8 a turn. We're losing the race. We can't block their creature, so it's pretty bad. They have rares that they're discarding. I mean, come on. What are you gonna do? The only thing we could have drawn there was a Revelation of Power. Keep us alive for an extra turn. This is obviously not a good game. I mean, this is completely not interactive. I can't block. I can't do anything. So it's just a terrible game. But that's the format, Sometimes you're like our opponents and you get thick ass signpost uncommons and rares and a perfect broker's deck with great mana. We don't get that. We don't really get that. We don't get those uncommons. We don't get those rares. So we gotta cobble together, you know, what we can, win when we can. Not every deck, or if you're us, any deck is going to be as good as our opponent's decks. But you can still draft solid, try to play tight, and scrap out some wins. You know? Here again, don't have a 2-drop. Think we have 4 or 5 in the deck, I want to say. So we have one of the 1-drops. We have Rafine's Informant. We have Attended Socialite. The Civic Dude, Civil Servant. We have the Sky Crier. So yeah, we have kind of enough. There's one of them. There we go. Obviously a turn too late, but it is what it is. Still want to play the 3-drop here. I could have played Skycrier and held up for the family, but I don't think it's what I want to do. And then we're a little stuck on mana here. I'm going to try to entice them into blocking. I doubt they do it because they have a lifelinker, but it is what it is. Obviously, we're winning this race, so we're going to go for it here. Want to make sure we're only grabbing 2 so we don't have to discard the hand size. And then once they didn't block, it seems like they're going to want to try to make this thing lifelink, which I think is just going to lose them the game, right? They're going to get way too far behind on board if they do this. So the goal is just to rush them down. And right now we're swinging for 7. They're hitting us for 3. They're gaining 2, but still, we're adding way more power and toughness to the board than they are. And Gathering Throng is just MVP here. Keeps adding power and toughness to the board. Here, if we were to draw a forest there, we would be able to present lethal. Because we have 4 creatures in play for the family, cast that twice. They're each +4/+4. At this point, if they block, we deal 11. So then we'll go ahead and play 2 creatures. Opponent's way up on cards. Trying to get this game over next turn. Do have to think about a sweeper here, but we have 2 creatures in hand. We have 3 tricks. We just need to connect once more. So I'm hoping we can get there. Obviously, we know our opponent's going to have the perfect. We know they're going to have the perfect. Luckily, we draw. We draw a Rafine's Informant. That's very good here. I do want that second forest, though. And I think a 3/2 is going to be valuable against this deck. So we'll pitch a trick. I only need to get in a couple of times. I don't think I need 3 of them to win this game. I just need 1. So This allows us to play 2 creatures. We can leave up for the family in case they have like Deal Gone Bad on the Rafine's Informant. But we have 2/3 power creatures on the battlefield right now. Obviously, they're going to get 3/2 lifelinker. This we know. I don't want to go for it here because I'm 99% sure they have something. I probably should have, though. I probably should have just swung or jumped the Rafine's Informant with Revelation of Power and just swung with that. So I think that was a huge mistake on my end. I think I was supposed to just go for it there. But they had 5 cards in their hand. It's just, I don't know. And now we're in trouble. Now we're in big trouble. I don't know how we're going to be able to close this game out. They have a lifelinker out. Yeah, this is really bad. So should have gone for the win the turn before. I was sure they were representing something, though. They had 4 mana up, 5 cards in hand. Not sure what I should have done there. Opponent's getting super flooded out. They draw us into our best card. That's good. Here we can kind of do it all. I want to keep a land in hand in case they have Corrupt Court Official, though. So we're drawing pretty well here. 2 into 2 creatures. Drawing another card. Opponent going up to 3. Now we are starting to get a little bit flooded out. 10 lands here. Opponents hit threshold, so if they have like a Snooping Newsy, we're probably screwed. And they have 4 cards in hand. So yeah, this is not looking good for us. They need to cast some creatures here. We do have a trick, so anything we swing with can be lethal. But Syndicate Infiltrator. A 5/5 flyer is not something we can swing past. The fact that them casting Murder on their turn is another huge mistake. So we got really lucky there. Because now we know we're not going to swing. We probably would have gone for it. And then we would have got blown out and lost the game. If they would have held that Murder, probably would have lost. Drawing 5 cards and leaving up Murder. That is insane. So now I know that they either have a Murder in their hand or that's what they were gunning for here. Either way, we got to try to do something. They do have the removal, of course. And they're at 5 cards in hand. This is not looking good. Have to do it. Give him another turn. No choice. I could have tried swinging there and getting in 2 damage, but I mean, 1 is not 0. And then I lose both my creatures, so really not a good idea. So another buy your silence. More removal from the opponent. Still at 5 cards in hand. At this point, I mean, I might even deck them. They were swinging here. I mean, I don't know what we would do. And I think they're starting to see that they need to swing. We're just dumping their hand. They're at 3 cards. I have opinions out, so they got to be really careful. And I have to go for it. Even though they're representing murder, at this point I know if they untap, we're dead. We are dead if they untap, and I drew a land. So we'll give it one more shot here to draw something relevant. There's another trick, another creature. And it's a pummeler, which is like the worst thing. Because now we don't have enough mana to do it all. We have 7 mana, I believe. Because we can untap 1 with the Gardener. But we're going for it. We have to go for it. And they're representing murder, but it doesn't matter. The fact, and then they did this. I didn't even know if I would have casted the trick here. Because we had enough to cast the Pummeler. And now I know they don't have anything. Now I know they don't. Oh, my goodness. For what? Why would they cast that there? I don't know. That was a mistake. But we got there. We take those. On to the next one. With this very medium Celestia deck. Very medium. 3-1. Definitely made a couple mistakes that last round. I think not going for it when I should have. It's a big one. This is a fine hand here. Civil Servant into Scrycryer is good. And get a Civic Gardener, which might be better. It's an extra power on the board, and we're on the play. Right? Or not? I forget. We're not on the play. We're on the draw. Halo Scarab is what you want to see from the opponent. And we draw Jewel Thief. That's going to be a pretty good curve here. Both of those things clown the Halo Scarab. Obviously, we're not blocking if they swing with it, because then, you know, they'd have a trick. So now we can do the familiar, play Jewel Thief, have a treasure up for the family if it's needed. Maneuver. Opponent's on perfect Bant mana. Opponents have always had this perfect mana. Oh no. And now they're representing for the family. You gotta be careful for that. I don't think it changes our plays or anything. If they were to double block and cast for the family, then we'd trade 3 and for 2, which is fine. So we're just gonna swing. And then Jewel Thief blocks the Scarab on the way back, so no biggie. Next turn, we can cast Mage Attendant and keep up the mana, or we can double spell. We can cast Mage Attendant and a 2-drop and use the treasure. So we got a lot of options here. Liking where this is going. We drew a couple of the good cards in our deck, so Jewel Thief, Servant, Mage Attendant, all good. And if we draw a Gathering Throng, I mean, that's pretty much devastating, right? Granted, they could just play some Signpost Uncommons here and wreck us, but what can you do? Echo Inspector's a big problem. That's a big problem. We can't get past that thing. That's a huge issue for us. Have to use a trick to kill it and just hope that they don't have anything else with 4 toughness. Spyro's Adjudicators next turn would be completely devastating. Yeah. So this is a big problem. Our tricks are our removal. But you know. Here, want to get to 4 creatures, so we get the extra pump from For the Family. Hoping they block Jewel Thief, but doesn't matter. Leaving Skycryer back, because I will trade for their Skycryer. They block correctly, they block Civil Servants. So we still gain a shit ton of life here, but we don't deal the extra trample damage. We don't deal the extra 3 trample. Another Echo Inspector is terrible for us. This is horrible. We need a way around it. So we have 3 other tricks in the deck. Other than that, I mean, their deck is good. Look what they're discarding here. They did discard a Psionic Snoop. They're playing Halo Scarab, but I mean, they have good cards. We have no way past them. Mage Attendant doesn't actually do anything here. So I think it's just best to draw a card. Just pass the turn, draw a card. Until we can get to a trick. Then they start casting really good cards, and now we're in big trouble. Big, big trouble. And they have exact Bant mana up, so it could be anything here. They did attack. I think this is a big mistake. I don't think you should. There's just no way you attack here. So that's a huge mistake, I think. I don't know why they attack. They could swing with Skycryer, force a trade. I mean, I just don't see why you attack there. That is confusing to me. Now this just opens up everything for me. I can swing with the team. And I will swing with the team. Here, things we're looking out for, like Broker's Charm, Exotic Pets, stuff like that. So we're going to cast Mage's Attendant pre-combat. We're getting flooded out anyway. They definitely, if they had something, they should have responded there. Or else it's, now I think they must have a 2-mana trick here. Doesn't matter. Still have to go for it. Still have to go for it here. If they use a trick and blow us out, I mean, it is what it is. debating if I want to lose that Skycrawler. Because, I mean, at this point I'm getting flooded and I kind of want to draw, but it is what it is. I'm expecting them to trade for the Skycrawler. I'm not expecting them to trade for Civic Gardener. So I'm going to untap that. Although it's probably smarter to untap the Skycrawler and force them to trade with it. Because then I can just block on the backswing. So they cast a 3-mana Signpost Uncommon. Not a good idea. And then they scoop. They are off of it. They are done. We had nothing in our hand. We had nothing going on. And they just scooped. No idea. No idea. We take those. They were ahead. So far ahead. They had a great deck with way better cards than we did. Right? They showed us Exotic Pets, Celestial Regulator, Inspiring Overseer, 2 Echo Inspectors. I mean, their deck was way better than ours. They were in a better position. They made 1 bad attack with an Echo Inspector, and then they didn't read Mage's Attendant. So we got them, and then they're just, all right, I guess I'm done. So, okay. I mean, we take those all day. Although we did make a mistake by not untapping the Skycrawler, I think. Here, medium hand, but it is what it is. 2 Gathering Throng. It's never what you want to see, but I'm not going to turn that back. I just got to hope I don't draw the 3rd one here before I get to play him. Just going to run out the backup agent. Keep drawing those 2-drops, which I'm happy to do. I'll draw them all day. Trying to be aggressive here. Force the trade. I know I have Throngs coming. So I thought for a second about using 4 of the family and casting Civic Gardener, but I just don't think it's worth it there. I think it's better just to get these Throngs going. We have Gilded Pinions, and they're Riveteers, so ideally we can hit them in the air. Voice of the Vermin is not good for me. This is bad. Anything with a shield counter, we don't have a way around it. I could play Pinions, equip, swing for 3. I think at some point I'm just going to have to try to race that stupid thing. So lets me get past it. I traded a shield counter for a trick. I don't know. I think I screwed up there. I should have played Gilded Pinions, used the treasure to play the Throng. Then next turn I could have just dumped my hand. Here, I think they screw up. I mean, Voice of the Vermin is a beast. It making anything a 4/4 is just really, really strong. So that's a very easy trade for me. Yeah, they got kind of a 2-for-1, but I mean, it was a Throng. They traded for a Throng and a 4 of the family. Throng is not a full card. Really worried about Hostile Takeover and Nightclubber here. But I mean, I have to go for it. I have a couple blockers for Social Climber. I have a lot of power on the board. I have a Gilded Pinions. They're at 14, but it is what it is. It's not a terrible mill for me. They get rid of a couple lands, but I would have liked that Civil Servant, and then, yeah. Here, I want to get that Social Climber off the battlefield, so I'm not sure what I should do. Still have Civic Gardener, so hopefully they trade here. And then I can just untap a land and play the other Throng out. Or I can use treasure. Doesn't matter. And then this prevents them from getting me on the backswing as well. So they need 2 pieces of removal here. Throng is just doing so much work. They're having to use real removal on it, which is crazy. You draw into a trick, that's huge. At this point, they kind of have to trade. But they're not. They're going to 4. That's, I mean, they're mad lads. I wanted to untap a land there also so I could sack Plaza and draw another card. They have to light them up. Nothing I can do about it. I could play Revelation of Power here. Maybe that was the right move. But I feel like I got them dead in the air. And I mean, they are, as long as they don't have a creature, they were dead in the air, but they do have a creature. So they go to 5, and I can only get them to 1. Still winning the race. Still okay. Maybe I should have used the trick and traded a 2-for-1 myself, but I don't know. Now, what I want to do is I want to get that Sizzling Soloist off the battlefield. I know I have blocks. They'd be dead if they didn't block, so I'm able to do this here. Kill that, and then we're looking okay. So they need removal. They need multiple pieces of removal. Which they have. And so now they can trade. We draw an Inspiring Overseer. At this point, I probably should have just suited up the Gardener, but I wanted to get that Social Climber off the battlefield because I don't want them to gain any more life. And I knew I had Inspiring Overseer here, so that was just a really good draw. And I feel like as long as I can stop them from gaining life with that Social Climber, we could win. And all of this is probably a mistake. I'm not sure if this was a good line or not. Definitely representing removal here. Obviously, they're going to top deck the removal. I got the murder right off the top. And now they're just drawing live. I don't think they should have played the land first, though. Because now they had to discard an actual card, and they go to 1. We're getting a little flooded out. So that's not good. If they wouldn't have played that land first, they could have played Civic Gardener there, and they could have discarded... Well, I think they played a Swamp first. And they have a Urabrask. Good card, but they didn't top deck removal again. We get a Pummeler, great top deck. Doesn't matter though. That is a game. Opponent obviously is going to top deck. They're going to get into their Mythic. They're going to top deck the removal 2 turns in a row. Like, I mean... We know this stuff, right? We get it. We get it. But we still got there. We managed to get there. And again, not sure... Well, I'm pretty sure, though, it was not the correct line there. I should have suited up the Civic Servant. Although, I don't know. Getting that Social Climber off the field was pretty critical. Because they gained a lot. They would have gained at least 2 more life. From Social Climber. Again, no 2-drops, but we do have 1 Throng. We have a couple tap lands, which isn't great, but on the play, so couple tricks. That's good. I mean, that's obviously very good when you're on the play, so. Corrupt Court Official, not what we want to see. Terrible for our deck, but matches up very good against Gathering Throng. But we'll play a Mage's Attendant here. Don't mind trading a token for it, I guess. But opponent is in the tank. They're deep in the tank. We do not like this Mage's Attendant sitting out there. Perfect Grixis mana right on turn 3. At this point, I'm pretty sure... I'm not blocking if they swing, obviously. I'm pretty sure they have Fake Your Own Death. They play a Newsy, though. That I will trade for. They bin their Sweeper, thank God. But we have Throngs here, so we're gonna try to force trades. And at this point, we're probably gonna end up trading a Throng for a Corrupt Court Official. Rooftop Nuisance, this I don't understand. And I don't understand why they're tapping my 1/1. They would want to tap the Lifelinker in the Throng. So it's kind of making me think they have Hostile Takeover, but there's nothing I can do. I'm beating down way too hard. I have 2 for the families that are giving +4/+4 right now. So they're gonna have to figure something out, because I'm gonna hit them really hard next. I'm gonna hit them for 8. So they cast Girder Goons. I'm representing lethal. No, I'm representing +8. I'm representing 16 if they don't block. I should have swung with the 1/1. Don't know why I didn't. That was stupid. Could have dealt 11, 12, 13. Got him to 4. But I think it was right just to get the goons off the field. And at this point, I don't care. Gonna keep the forest in hand in case they have another Corrupt Court Official, though. And now, I mean, they need that Hostile Takeover. Or a Nightclubber. Nightclubber just... I mean, we scooped to a Nightclubber. Glamorous Outlaw, again, that's for the family, is so busted when you have 4 creatures in play. Super busted. 2 bottom, which is good for me, but it means that they probably do have Hostile Takeover in this deck. So, very scary. So we're gonna kill their we're gonna kill their 6-drop. Play a creature. and have a very good turn and still deal them 4. So they go to 9. And now we can just dump our hand. I think, yeah. I don't think there's anything we can do. If they have hostile takeover, they win. If they don't, we win. Yep. So we got there. They didn't draw their hostile takeover, and somehow this deck is still scrapping away. Good hand. I just saw a getaway car. I think we've seen this one other match, but seeing with the backup agent means we got the combo. So that's really sweet. We can just keep recasting backup agent and putting counters on our stuff. Did not want to draw. That was the last card in the deck we wanted to draw was Gathering Throng, but it is what it is. Here I should have swung with Agent first, then played Throng. Because there's a chance they wouldn't have blocked. By the way, we've never seen our Rumor Gatherer. Not one game have we seen it. Is what it is, I guess. Opponent's got a brew, they get their perfect mana. Anytime there's weird mana bases like this, it makes me think that they have hostile takeover. And they're stretching their mana base to accommodate it. I mean, there's no reason to play 4 colors in this format, or even 3, to be honest, unless you need to. So they have something crazy in their deck. Kier's still setting up. And I'm going to gamble that they're not going to block here. Yep. They're trading for the Throng, which is really good news for me. Obviously, because now we can keep putting counters on. I mean, if we want, we can do that with Mage's Attendant as well. If we get enough mana, we can keep making little 1/1s. There's that damn glamorous outlaw. So, what we can do here, we can getaway car, suit it up, crew it up with Agent, and have enough mana for Revelation of Power up. So, getaway car is a really enticing target for opponent. So, we're going to try to make it happen. We go with Max Intimidation, 2 on the top. If they don't block, we want to be able to recast Agent. That's why we suited up with that instead of Mage's Attendant here. And there's like a 50-50 chance they don't block. But if they do, we're super happy about it. Because now we kill their 6-drop. We have a very difficult to deal with 4/3. an opponent, although we do know that they're drawing some action here, so that's rough. They're blitzing in goons, which I think has got to be a mistake. I mean, we're totally happy racing them. We're dealing 9 damage next turn. Yeah, we go to 14. They're going to 11 next turn because we're going to cast Backup Agent, put a counter on Attendant, swing for 9, and cast Gathering Throng. I mean, this cannot be good. I think they're just supposed to cast goons there, then force a trade with Mage's Attendant or the Getaway car. So it makes me, I mean, they two-topped, so I know they got some good stuff in hand, but here we go. At this point, we're just looping Agent and getting counters, so feeling pretty good. Opponent is passing with 7 mana up. So, I mean, they gotta have something here, right? At this point, I don't know how much I care, but we got to acknowledge that they have some stuff. We want to make all of our things able to trade with that token, of course. And we might lose the Getaway car here. We're fully expecting that to happen. But even if we do, they use removal on Getaway car. They maybe trade with the 3-1. They still take 6, go to 5. They could have multiple removal spells here with 7 mana up, but I have no idea. And the fact that they just go down to 1, I can't believe it. This could definitely... I'm just not sure what to think at this point. I think they have to have Hostile Takeover here. I think that's the only option. And so I'm just going to end the turn because I don't think there's anything else that they could have. Derivateer's Charm. So looks like I should have played Gathering Throng. Getaway car now is still difficult for them to deal with. So I'm thinking they might have it in hand. But Getaway car, I mean, they cast Hostile Takeover, they kill my creatures. And then they need to have a follow-up for it. So I'm thinking they have Hostile Takeover in hand here. And they just don't know how to get rid of Getaway car. Once they do that, I know we got them. Like, yeah. Now I'm really wishing I would have played Gathering Throng, though. Because they could definitely have a creature here, or maybe 2, I don't know. They can go land, like, 2-drop, 1-drop, maybe? I don't know. Or land 2-drop and then, like, a Strangle. Definitely possible. Representing Murder, Court Official, don't care. Not gonna do it. I do want to make sure I draw. In case I get like a land there, I don't need a land, I'm having to discard that. And now they're just dead on board. Getaway car. Gave it to us, baby. I wish I knew what the opponent had in their hand. It had to be Hostile Takeover. They're a good sport about it, although I'd be raging. Good for them. So we got there with a pretty shitty green-white deck. Wasn't perfectly piloted. I think we did have some good lines there, but I mean, there were some questionable decisions. I think we had a couple opponents who made some mistakes and we took advantage. But yeah, we got there. We'll take